Hey guys, we are here at Tudor at Watches and Wonders 2025. I'm here with Cole Pennington. How are you, man?
I am great, and we are very happy to receive you here.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So we are here to look at the new novelties for 2025 for Tudor. Yeah, let's start with the Tudor Black Bay 68. So I can see that there's really interesting dial colors they have chosen for this series.
Yes.
But tell me, what's the biggest difference between the Black Bay 68 and the 58?
Well, the most obvious answer, size.
Okay.
Of course. But the idea with the 68, so firstly we'll address the name, Black Bay 68. So do you know what the 68 is a reference to?
Is it 1968?
Yes?
If it's 1968, then I will know. I kind of know which reference.
Yeah?
7928.
Sort of, but not really.
Okay.
Yes, that exists in parallel with
7016.
almost,
Oh my God.
but it's really the introduction of the snowflake hand. So the
Okay.
first time the snowflake hand appears in the catalog is 1968.
Wow.
So we can trace watches back to this year. So with this watch, we're sort of celebrating the induction of the snowflake hand.
I see. So what was the reference for the snowflake hand?
7016
Right.
it did appear on.
Yeah.
You're right, but it's really the snowflake hand.
Yes, I get it. The snowflake hand basically is the transition from the Rose logo with the Mercedes hands.
Yes.
And it became, of course, now the
period of
DNA of
change.
Tudor, right?
Yeah.
The snowflake hand. That's awesome. So we have two Black Bay 68. So maybe
Yes,
this
great.
and that, right? So this is a nice. I mean, it's a nice blue metallic dial.
Yes.
Right. So I think that's the color that you want to go for. Why this color?
So blue. So when you think of a dive watch, you think of a black dial, right? Usually. You think of dive watch, you think black dial.
Yeah, usually. Yeah.
However, Tudor has a long-standing history of incorporating blue into its designs.
That's right. Yeah.
So to see blue appear here makes complete sense. That this would be a natural fit for the watch.
That's cool.
And as you know, probably the most prominent thing about this, 43 millimeters. But if you put it on, you might not have guessed that because the proportions remain the same.
Let's try on.
So it is a 43 millimeter watch, and it sort of builds out the Black Bay line. So you have 37, 39, 41, 43. And I bet you when you put this on, it will feel pretty wearable. And it
really is. Yeah,
it looks
it's
good on
actually
you, too.
quite wearable, right? So it's a 43.
Yes, sir.
It feels like a 41.
Yeah,
be
there you go. We
I
didn't
see.
tell him to say that. It's true.
Well, I mean, it really does fit well. I think the secret is also because I think the lugs are tilted in a way. It's a bit more, angled down, so it fits maybe small wrist like me.
Exactly. So it's
as well, yeah.
that classic Black Bay case proportion. So the amount of the case that kind of touches your wrist is very similar in the whole line.
I see.
And the idea is, we like to think long term here. So you might say, well, everyone else is going small and you're going big. Why is that? And it's not that we're purposely bucking a trend. It's that if you can think long term, you can think about building out a complete line.
Got it.
So this is kind of the top end of that line in terms of size.
I see. Oh, okay. I get the rationale. So I know that the blue appeared in the 7016, right? The first
Yes,
blue
sir.
colored dial.
Yeah.
What about this? A silver dial. What's the
So-
rationale behind this?
In the 90s, the Tudor Submariner, there was a configuration with a dial like this. However, that's not necessarily a callback insofar as this is a remake of something.
Okay.
Tudor has experimented with this color before, but I think it's just these are handsome designs, blue and silver.
I agree. Okay. Well, the rationale is, it's I can accept that. I think Tudor has been it's one of the better brands that play with different color dials. If you look at the recent releases, we have the Tudor Black Bay Chrono with the blue,
Yes.
and of course with the is it flamingo?
So
you want to call it
it's
pink?
It's chrono pink and
Chrono
then
pink?
flamingo blue.
Flamingo.
But it's funny
Got
because
it wrong.
flamingos are pink, but this
Yeah.
is a flamingo blue.
Okay.
It's a vibe.
Basically, it's a vibe.
It's a
It's a
vibe,
Tudor vibe. Okay. So we move on to the next watch, which is quite eye-catching, and I kind of remind me of a watch from the past.
I think
But I'm
I know
not
where
sure.
you're
I want
going.
to actually ask you about it, which
Sure.
is this. This is, as I know, this is the new Black Bay 58, right?
58,
The
that's
58,
right.
so 39 mm.
Correct.
Right, with this burgundy dial with a matching burgundy bezel. Right?
Exactamo.
So it reminds me of as I mentioned, a reference from the past. Correct me if I'm wrong. The reference 79190 from the 90s.
Yes.
Tell
From
me
the
more about
mid-90s.
that.
So so in the 90s, of course, this color combo was dreamed up. Then I guess you can say red on red.
Okay.
Tudor sub. In the mid-90s was made as a prototype because, of course, you have an idea. Back then, computers weren't as prevalent in the design process. So you really have to make the prototype to see
Yes.
how it
that's right,
feels,
yeah.
how it looks. You can draw, of course, but that will never really translate to what is in the metal. So this watch was made at that time, around 1995. Of course, we
Okay.
can't say with certainty, but around that time. And it was decided not to enter commercial production.
Oh, that's interesting. So it is a prototype.
It's an absolute prototype.
I see. Oh, wow. Okay.
You could say that this is sort of that watch coming of age and being put into production.
Wow.
So a singular prototype that we've had in our archival collection for a long time. That is where the inspiration for this watch was drawn from.
I see. So it's kind of a tribute to that prototype.
Exactly.
In a way. Like, in a way, it's a first launch of this burgundy on burgundy, I guess, because that watch has never been realized, right?
It hasn't been realized in a commercial capacity.
Okay. So this watch, so what is the name of this? The BB58 Burgundy?
So it's just the Black Bay 58.
The
It's
Black
just
Bay 58,
another
okay.
iteration.
Okay, great.
And kind of the first thing that differentiates this from a lot of the other BB58s is the two lines of text should clue us in.
Oh wow. Oh, okay.
Master chronometer.
So it's meta certified.
Exactly. It's a meta certified model.
Nice.
So
this is the only Black Bay 58 that is meta certified?
there's the Black Bay 58 GMT, which is
Sure,
meta
but-
certified, but we can say this is the first time only
I see.
Black Bay 58.
I will guess
certified.
more to come.
Yeah, for sure.
Right. So this Black Bay 58 variants comes, of course, with this. I think now Black Bay 58 has a couple of configurations as well. So this is, I would say, the riveted bracelet with the new and improved T clasp.
T-fit class.
Right, T-fit
exactly.
clasp.
Yeah.
And of course, it comes with a Jubilee-like 5-link.
5-link bracelet,
right,
also with
that.
T-fit.
And of course, the rubber strap.
Yes.
You got to talk about the
So
rubber
you
strap.
have all three.
Nice. So next we go into a familiar watch, 2021.
Yes.
It's the launch of the Black Bay Chrono. So now in I guess, a new configuration. You want to tell me a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so this is a watch which was, I would say, begging for a 5-link bracelet. And now it's finally arrived. So there was plenty of success and positive notions around the pink and flamingo blue.
That's right.
And then we had a BB, a boutique edition in blue,
Yep.
also with the 5-link bracelet.
Yep.
So now it finally sees.
I see. The regular models comes now with that option as well.
And you can actually, let's say you have this watch perhaps, you can now purchase this to retrofit.
Oh, that's nice. Just
So
the
it-
bracelet.
exactly. And
How,
it works.
how much is the bracelet?
Depends on the market, the pricing. But 800 francs-ish.
Okay. It's fair. For a nice bracelet with, of course, the T-fit clasp.
Exactly. So T-fit, yeah, that's a game changer. And it really,
Yeah.
it suits the watch well, this bracelet.
I really
particularly.
like the T-fit clasp, really. Honestly, it's a great improvement.
Yeah,
Yeah. Now we move on into the, I see a new Pelagos over there.
that's right.
You want to talk?
Yeah.
You want to talk about
So-
the Pelagos?
Let's chat about it.
Yeah.
This is the Pelagos Ultra.
Ultra.
Yes.
Let me guess. It goes deeper.
It goes deeper. It certainly goes deeper. So, the kind of interesting points about this watch. First thing, actually, I'll ask you, try it on, please. It is also a 43 millimeter watch. But, because it's titanium, because of the case profile, wears nicely.
It does.
The case band, so how thick the watch is, it's actually generally the same size as the 500. So how do we do that? What are some tricks and some engineering advancements? Well, the chapter ring, normally on a watch, you have the dial and the chapter ring will meet the dial like this.
Yeah.
In this case, the chapter ring floats above the dial. So it's parallel to the dial.
Ah, yes, I see that now.
Exactly. And you can see these markers and hands look slightly different. Those are oversized. So with the uptick in depth rating, you also get markers and hands that have increased
to make sense. I mean, when you go deeper, it gets darker, and you
Yeah.
gotta have bigger, basically better superluminova, bigger size to actually see. the
And
time.
on that note, the hip and the minute hand are loomed in green, while the rest is blue. So
Wow.
theoretically, you can just look for the dot and see how much time has elapsed with the minute hand.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So
you
this is
can-
literally an upgrade of the original Pelagos, I would say, in terms of
in all
legibility,
ways,
in terms
yeah.
of depth rating, and everything else, basically, right?
There's also, so it does also have T-fit.
Oh yes, of
It
course.
does. In addition,
Always got to mention the T-fit class.
always, but
Yeah.
the interesting thing is, in the past, this system, proprietary to the Pelagos of
Yeah.
compression.
That's right.
So, of course, as you go deeper, like, let's say you have a 7 mil wetsuit. That's a really thick wetsuit,
Yeah.
right? As you go deeper, it'll compress. And if the size of the bracelet is fixed, it'll jiggle around. This allows it to compress and expand freely without putting pressure on the wrist.
Really?
But in the past, you didn't have T-fit and that system.
I see.
Now you have that system and T-fit together. And there's a little visual indicator here that matches the text, and that is, we can say turquoise, more or less.
I see.
Aquamarine color.
Wow, so this is literally a real functional, like this is a professional
Yes.
like diving watch, like
The
for those
idea-
divers that goes down even deeper than recreational divers.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's really made for saturation diving.
Really. And the difference between this is other than the case size at 43 compared to the old Pelagos, which is 42. This one comes with, is it META certified as well?
Sure is.
All right, and also a 1,000 meters of water resistance,
Yes,
which
sir.
is how many times? 2 times? The
Two
Pelagos
times.
is 500 meters, right?
Oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so 2 times.
Yeah.
So wow, great. I mean, I love that the Pelagos is also in that turquoise
Yeah,
signature
it's just a
color
little
as well.
visual indicator that, you know.
It's nice.
This
It's great.
is the apex predator. Yeah.
That's a great analogy. And then last, we'll go into a Black Bay GMT.
Yes, so this is the Black Bay Pro. But
yes.
what is different about it? You may have seen this design before in
Yes.
watch lore, in the watch universe.
So
There's-
is it actually based on the 1655?
It's not based, no. But of course, being in the same group, there's
Inspired.
a shared vision, right? So this watch, and the other thing to note is it's not actually white. It's not a cream or white dial, it's an opaline dial. So if you look carefully, there's kind of a grainy texture.
Yeah, kind of a greeny finishing on that.
Yeah,
So
and a
it's
little
nice.
bit of silver in that white, right?
Under the sun, this dial will be beautiful.
Yeah, it
See
is.
everything, it pops.
Yeah. And the other interesting part about it is, so the original Black Bay Pro, black dial, with sort of creamy monoblock ceramic markers.
I like that a lot, actually. Yeah.
There is something awesome about it. And those markers are impregnated with lume.
Yes.
So the whole marker glows.
Yep.
Now, that can't be used on a white dial because, of course, it's not as legible.
Okay.
Right? So that color directly on a white dial. So what do we do here? We took black, non-luminous ceramic, milled out the center, and filled it with superluminova. So that creates a black and white contrast on the
Increase
dial.
the legibility on actually a
Exactly.
white dial.
Exactly.
In a way. Wow,
And the
that's really smart.
Hands are blackened as well. So this is the
Ah, I see it. Yeah. So you
Yeah.
can see the cutout like that. And so the exterior of the loom plot is black.
exactly.
And then you have the loom in the middle. like that.
Exactly.
I see.
And if we want to get really nerdy about it, on the Black Bay Pro with the black dial, the text matches the GMT hand in orange. This one, to keep up that monochromatic theme, the text is all in black. So it doesn't match the orange.
I see.
Yeah. So that's
That's a nice touch.
yeah. And of course T-fit and all the fixins, and it's really it's an example of when a new dial color can actually be a little bit more than just a new dial color.
Yeah, I really like that subtle bonus that you actually give to this the new owners of the white
Yeah,
GMT
there you
Pro.
go.
You know, which is nice. I mean, this is a great addition to the family, and in any case, that anybody that loves Black Bay Pro black dial,
Yeah.
they don't. I mean, maybe they like the Black Bay Pro, but not really. Really want to go for a black dial.
Yeah, exactly.
Now you have a white
it's, it's kind of a natural
Because
choice.
like me, I also actually likes fixed. You know, fixed 2 time zone bezels, right? Fixed
Yeah.
bezels like
Yeah,
this.
yeah, yeah.
So I get it.
Yeah,
You know, I get it.
It
It's
works.
nice to have choice.
It's a proven design, let's say.
Definitely. So thank you so much, Cole. Thank you for your introduction.
Pleasure is mine.
I mean, thank you for sharing the 2025 Tudor novelties with me.
Always.
I'll catch you guys next time.
Yeah, we're always happy to have you.